that's why we wanted to bring them on, and that's why it's just kind of in the past month that we are bringing them aboard, and so he's coming out to meet a few of us and was kind enough to come out and just kind of we didn't want to bombard him with agents, but wanted to at least expose this to a few of you guys, and then we're going to start rolling it out.
Yeah. And then we're just going to go around the table and you guys take 10, 15 minutes each just to talk about yourselves.
Exactly.
And then you all have to put a lead in the pot. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So good afternoon, Bill Ensley with Bear Printing. I'm one of the co-owners and the founder of the company. This platform is really my baby. It's been my adult's work for the last 30 years. My adult life's work for the last 30 years. We are in our 30th year doing business as a print shop. 25 of those in real estate. So we've been through many ups and downs and cycles. We've been through every revolution that you guys have been in between how far this industry has come. You three are too young to know. You go back to the book, don't you? The actual printed MLS book.
Yeah, I've been doing this 30 years. When I first got in, we had the book.
So that's where I go back. My father-in-law was in real estate, and he got us into this. We had a struggling print shop in my late teens, early 20s, and my father-in-law convinced me that real estate was the direction to go. So we kind of bridged that information revolution between real estate being a 100% paper industry to a 100% electronic industry. We're actually we're selling a rental right now, and I literally signed the documents on my phone driving up here from
It doesn't look
Colorado
like we're
Springs.
done with the paper yet.
What's that? We're not done with paper, and that's just it. Humans are tactile. Humans want to touch and feel things. Even myself, I want to use the computer a lot. I'm on the computer 8-10 hours a day. But at the same time, I also want to read a book. I want to touch and feel things. So to Kip's point, this platform, it's really an end-to-end marketing solution. It's got everything under the sun that you guys use to market yourself and your listings. Our pricing and our product line we think it's pretty comprehensive. The pricing is great. You may find companies that you're working with that maybe have a better deal on a door hanger, or you may find somebody that has a better deal on a flyer. But as a comprehensive platform, the value is there across the board. My goal for each of you is to find something of value within this platform. I'm going to be hitting you with a fire hose worth of information in the next 45 minutes or so. And really, you need to process this stuff through a garden hose. So you're going to feel overwhelmed. That's the norm rather than the exception. I want to try to hit all the great stuff within this platform. We do offer additional training. We do one-on-ones. We do office presentations. Our goal is to really help you find value within the platform. This system is completely complimentary. There's no monthly subscriptions, no annual fees, nothing. You're able to sign up onto this platform through your Paramount Title guys, and you just get complete access to everything. It's designed for both print and web use, meaning everything that you create on this platform is also usable for print and electronically. You can email it, you can post it to social media, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Flyer can be a social media post. Postcard can go on Instagram. You name it, it's all part of the platform, completely complimentary. We make all of our money on the backside by real estate agents ordering printing. So our goal is that if you're finding value within the platform, eventually you're going to need print. You're in real estate, you order print. So it typically ends up being a win-win. You guys find value in the platform, and eventually you'll need some printing. What I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to give us that 30,000-foot view. We're going to use Troy's listing. So we've got a fresh listing, and we need to do some marketing on it. And we're going to kind of go through the platform from that viewpoint. If you have questions, if you want me to pause, anything like that, please do so, and I'll be happy to explain something a little bit further. And you guys, I was just going to invite you to jump in if you want me to spend more time on something.
Oh yeah, no, I was just going to ask you a question, and if I remember correctly, because I know Troy's group uses Fetch a lot. Fetch is?
Well, you guys have Fetch?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So a lot of our clients use Fetch, but is Fetch integrated, or this is integrated with Fetch as well?
So it is not integrated, and
Okay.
you've hit on a frustrating point because we work. So Fetch is a product through WFG National Title. We work with WFG at the corporate level nationwide. We were actually born and raised in Portland with WFG corporate. We actually go back to before day one. All of the great people that became WFG brought us with them. and we became WFG's printer from day one. And as WFG grew across the country, they took us with them into all their various markets. So that's how we met these guys. We were at a WFG agency event for underwriters in Florida, showing off this platform. But yeah, we've been trying to get Fetch integrated for since the very beginning. And tell your rep, tell your WFG rep, you want it integrated. The more people that tell them you want Bear integrated, the better chances we have of
Okay,
making it.
I thought I remember you mentioning something about Fetch being integrated with this.
Yeah,
That's-
we've been trying. We have some systems like Fetch that are integrated, but that specific one isn't.
Okay.
Now, having said that, if you're using Fetch, it's really easy to export a list and upload it into the system. It's not a massive hurdle or barrier to entry. All right, so where I am right now is I'm logged into my profile within Paramount Title's marketing platform. And this initial view is what we call our trending view. These are templates that are being used right now, the most used templates in the last 30 days. Ignore these two. They always irritate me. There are default templates for our flyers and our perma flyers, and I would say a good quarter of every order that comes through Bear Printing is one of these templates, because it's the default when you start a project and agents just don't change it. It drives me nuts. We've got like 5,000 templates in here, and everything under the sun, and we can customize even further than what we have here. Use it. So this is the trending view. And we've got a mix in here, flyers, postcards, brochures, things like that. But you know, I'm actually gonna pause us. I've been going so fast today all over the city that I wanna actually slow down just a hair. Let's take a look at the physical materials first, and then we're gonna jump onto the website. So you guys should all have a packet in front of you. Let's go ahead and open these guys up, and we'll walk through that. So within these packets, you've got some samples of all of our various products. This first one, this little guy that pops up, these are called Flyer Minis. We'll talk about those in just a second. I'm going to come back to that. The next set of samples you have in here are postcard samples. We've got smalls, large, and we do also do a jumbo card, a 6x11 as well. But I don't think we have a sample of that in the card, in the packet. These show you some samples of our finishes. We've got our flat finish, we've got our high glossy finish, and then this is this guy is the worst.
I like how it smells.
What's that?
I like the way it smells.
Shh, don't sniff too much. We actually have great big hoods that suck this out when they're actually putting this coating on. It goes on hot and then goes under a UV dryer that cures it. I'm actually glad you brought that up, because the glossy postcards hold up the best through the mail. The post office is absolutely brutal to postcards. If you've seen, I've got a good video of the inside of a post office, if any of you ever want to see it. It's a miracle that any mail comes through not looking like it went through the dishwasher.
Cute.
But you've got samples of the different stocks here. This next one down the line, these next three, I should say, are samples of our home brochures. You've got Simple. This is called our small home brochure, one of our most popular products. What's nice about these is that they're dimensional. They'll stand up on their own. So people will use those throughout the house. They'll put them in the kitchen, the living room, the master. Then you've got our large home brochures. These are the 4-page open type. We can do them vertical or horizontal. We also have a 6-page version of this that we don't have a sample in, similar to the packet itself, but a full 6 pages. And then we've got our luxury home brochure. That's gonna be this guy. This is a full 8-page, high gloss, high photography, high impact type brochure. Less verbiage, lets the photos tell the story. Then we've got some samples of door hangers in here. Door hangers have been making this weird comeback in the last 18 months or so. People are door knocking and they're dropping these on doors. We've got open house versions, listing versions. We've got the antisocial version, just pop by. This is for the agent that had no intention of knocking and just wants to leave it on the door. And then the back has samples of our flyers. You've got our high gloss flyer, you've got a heavyweight text flyer, recycled, and then our standard flyers. Now, with a platform like this, with remote things like this, we're based out of Portland, so we basically ship nationwide. We've got flat rate shipping on everything. Ground is $8.95, second day is $12.95, next day is $16.95. You're always going to know what you pay. Second day is the best bang for the buck, getting here to Denver. Prior to COVID, you guys were second day anyway on ground, but post-COVID, so much has changed with shipping. We always recommend doing the second day just to guarantee you get it.
Which
But-
was with the prices again?
Sorry, $8.95, $12.95, $16.95.
For which was what was?
Well, ground $8.95, 2-day $12.95, next day $16.95. Now that covers up to 5 pounds, which is like 93% of everything we produce. Outside of that, you've got like signage and things that gets heavier than that. So we have a second tier, but I don't actually know the pricing on that second tier. It's almost never used. So when it comes to things like flyers, we know that we're not going to get all of your business. You're going to have things that need to be done locally or that you even print in your own office. And that's where some of the electronic pieces of this system come in. So if you say you have an open house on Saturday, you forgot that you needed a flyer for it, you can come in here, use our one-click marketing, that's the listing fed system, build a flyer, download the PDF, print it out yourself, and Bob's your uncle. So you have the absolute ability to download PDFs of everything, print them yourself, whatever you need. Our goal is for you to be successful with selling properties. The more properties you sell, the more need you're going to have to come back and have future printing later. So however we can support you, we try to do that. Back to these little flyer minis. These are a companion product to what is our flagship product. These guys are called a permaflyer. And what these are is a permanent version of your flyer that either mounts to your real estate signpost or it comes with a cool stake that you can just stake into the ground next to your main sign. These are the replacement for the always empty flyer box. So these, at $20, they're less expensive than your first order of flyers anyway, and you never have to keep a flyer box full. You use the QR code to point to the website that's always going to have the current pricing on it. So you never have to replace these. You can point it to a virtual tour, you can point it to a website, you can point it to a website that has all of your listings. You guys decide where it wants to go. I'll send one of these around. Got a couple more over here we can send that way. You guys want to take a look at those. We developed these up in the Pacific Northwest. If any of you guys have spent any time there from basically October through June, it really does rain 9 months of the year in the Northwest. Paper products do not do well out in the weather. We developed these guys almost 20 years ago. 2007 was when the first version of these came out. We're on version 8 or 9 of this product. It started out as a label that was put on a piece of plastic, then we added a UV filter to it, and now it's printed direct to board using UV cured ink. So it works well in the rain, it works well in the sun. Since it's UV cured, it actually gets a little bit richer with time as you continue on. And then these flyer minis, these are a miniature version of a flyer. So if you have a homeowner that absolutely wants a takeaway, maybe it's a very walkable neighborhood and they want a takeaway at the street side, we sell a really cool little miniature box that you can actually drop a photo and put that box right on the permaflyer so they can have these minis to take away there. And then these guys here, I'll send one each way in a second. These are an upgraded version of the permaflyer. These are called a permaflyer rider. They're designed to hang from your main sign, like a name rider. What's cool about these is that they are two-sided. These are only $25 versus $20. What people will often do is do, say, English on one side, Spanish on the other, so you can make them bilingual. And if you want to take a look at that and pass them down.
That's actually really cool. I mean, for $25, two-sided, colored, and like, why would you
And
ever
then
need a
it's a-
flyer? You
Yeah.
wouldn't need to go spend and put color flyers or flyers in a
There's so much
box.
into it that you don't think about either, like the sun and the rain and the material and how it's gonna look after a week
That's
or
our
two.
job.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
don't
have to.
even think about
That's
that.
just it. You shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
That's our job. This stack we're going to save till the end.
Okay.
So in addition to all of the types of materials you use to market a listing, we also have a gargantuan library of topical and lead generation content. What these samples are part of our hyper-local generative AI content that we're going to get to at the end. So we've leveraged AI and created, I'll just turn it sideways, and created practical applications where these postcards can be generated all the way down to the local level, anywhere you guys are. So it's best of types of things, it's local market snapshots, and it's monthly events. And so we'll pop through that toward the end of the presentation. All right, so back to the site itself. Once they get you signed up and get you onboarded, we get your listing feed turned on. We have most of the big MLSs in Colorado. We do have RE Colorado here. We've got Pikes Peak down in Springs. You guys call it the Springs, did I hear that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the fun parts about this. But well, no, it's one of the fun parts about traveling around is, I mean, you see everything on a map, right? I mean, you see cities, you've heard of Colorado Springs, but me from Portland, I don't know that people call it the Springs until you get here. It's kind of cool. I love learning
I
that
think
stuff.
it's if you live here, you kind of.
I feel like I've never thought about the fact that we do that.
I do when I'm typing it. for
really
other
thought
people
about
or
it,
like social media. I'm
Yeah.
like, I need to say Colorado Springs, not the Springs.
I thought about it like in Pagosa Springs or Glenwood Springs.
Yeah, if you were to
Yeah.
email me from
Yeah.
Portland and tell me you were in the Springs, I would have no idea what you were talking about.
Steamboat.
But now,
Yeah, what state?
Yeah, well,
Right,
what's
right.
excited? All right, so now what we're going to do is Troy has a fresh listing. We're going to go build a flyer for it. So I'm going to come down here. Let me pop through the templates really quick though. So we've got a couple different ownership groups of templates here. We've got the Bear Library. We've got Client Connect, which is our topical library. We've got Paramount title templates. We haven't talked about that yet or not, guys. I don't know if you have any content that you've used with agents in the past, but we can bring that content in here as your own level of templates. And then we've got personal templates. These are anything that you've had us create for you. So if you have personal branding that you want to bring in as a custom template, we can bring that in. And then everything you favorite also shows up under the My Templates section. But under the Bear Library, you've got everything. Business cards, door hangers, flyers, flyer minis, gift cards. These are great around Christmas time. We have a lot of brokers and owners that will give Bear Printing gift cards as Christmas gifts to their staff. Greeting cards, the home brochures from the basic to the luxury, promo flyers, riders, postcards of all sizes, jumbo, large, small, real estate props like closing keys, like that guy behind Kip, open house, house cutouts, things like that are all in here. And then signage, we've got a billion different types of riders in here, all the fancy, different, fun riders that people like to put on things. I did realize that we have templates that have just listed with the QR code like you're asking about, but I didn't see them in this library, so I think we might have them in one of our partner platforms. I'm going to find them and get them in here so that you guys have access to them. Actually, let me make myself a quick note because I remember looking at that with you guys in Florida, and
Near Casa.
all right. So let's come back up to flyers though. Oh yeah, let's talk social media again real quick. So we do maintain the square look in many of our templates. So if you have to have the square, we do have that in most things. But again, everything else can be used social. Flyer, postcard. Postcards make actually pretty good social posts as well. But let's come back up to flyers. And we're just going to use this basic guy. So we're going to personalize.
All the
Yeah, you
stuff
said
about it.
don't use that one.
I was
Yeah, don't
really
use
interested
the
in what you
first
were
two.
gonna use besides that one. I was
That's
interested.
okay.
See, they're actually paying attention.
We're going to build a permaflyer instead. And we're going to click on this guy. And we're going to go personalize. You're right, we are part of the problem. With our demos, we use the same one every time. All right, so we're going to personalize this guy. A couple different entry points here. We can start blank, where you guys would plug in your own information. Start from a listing, which we're going to do today. Start from an address is a great pre-MLS tool. We have access to all the county records as well, so you can bring in all of the county data for a property and then upload your high-quality photos. So if you want to get your marketing done prior to going live, typically some marketing is done before a listing is live. You're probably going to have a flyer. You're probably going to maybe have a just listed postcard. You might have a perma flyer because you want that going out with your sign, and then you're going to hit the go button on the listing. Other things can come later, a brochure, pending, sold postcards, things like that can be built from the data. But yeah, we can bring in the county data. The goal of bringing in data to these projects is to solve blank screen syndrome. You've already typed this listing information 1,000 times in different places during the life cycle of launching this. The goal is just to bring that data in so you don't have to repeat it yet again. And then start from a national MLS is kind of a one-off tool. Lets you search for a specific listing anywhere in the country. It's great for demo purposes. Or if you're on the buyer side and you weren't named as the listing agent on a property, you can go get that listing data through the national MLS as well. Maybe you want to do an I brought the buyer postcard or some kind of just sold listing from your perspective. But today we'll just do a start from your listing. And this is going to be Downing Street. So we're going to give it a name. I beg of you, please name projects what you're building. We have so many agents that will title, their flyer might be 123 Main Street, their perma flyer might be 123 Main, their postcard is 123 Main ST. And when you go back to your saved projects, trying to figure out which is a nightmare. So just append, it's a flyer, it's a perma flyer, it's a postcard. Makes your life so much easier. So we're gonna go ahead and start this in the basic section. We'll talk about motif as it launches. Because real estate is such a huge cross-section of humanity and skill sets, we maintain two halves to this website. We've got a basic section that is designed for less skilled people to be able to get through it and build marketing. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, follow these steps, you'll get through it type of form-based system. Motif is our advanced editor. It's built very similar to Canva. So if you've used Canva, you'll be perfectly comfortable in Motif. It's not Canva, but it's modeled after it. So it's drag, drop environment, got the panel on the left, all of the same type of stuff. We'll pop into it for just a few minutes. We can honestly spend too much time there. It's almost a class all by itself, but I will give you a quick demo. So we just built this this flyer right from the property data. We brought in all the photos. We turned the features into bullets here, brought in the user's information. Now this would be your information for whatever profile you're logged into. And I'm glad I'm seeing this. We've got a lot of information in this paragraph. So we've been seeing in the last 6 months or a year, public remarks getting longer and longer and longer and longer. I'm assuming it's because people are using AI assistants to generate their paragraphs. Now that's great on a website when you can scroll. It's less great when you need to fit that information into a specific square on a marketing piece. I'm going to show you some basic AI tools within the platform to summarize that down for a marketing piece in just a few minutes. So we've got our PermaFlyer. If you love it, you can continue on and go ahead and order this. But we're going to change it over to a postcard now. So actually here, let me go up to styling. I'll show you a couple quick things. Basic section has about 100, 120 fonts or so. Advanced section has the entire Google font library in it. So we've got just a subset of fonts in here to keep it simple. Let's go change our color to, Troy, what are your company colors?
Gold and black.
Gold and black. All right, let me go grab a nice goldenrod. There we go. All right. So all I've done here is just change the font. I've changed the color. Thinking real hard here. So now we have a different piece, basically. And again, your logo, your photo would be here. So now let's go change this guy over to a postcard. Now I could use the menu items and search for a postcard, or I can use the free text search. And I'm just going to search for listing. And this will grab a listing template here. So let's personalize this guy now. And we'll preview. Now we've got our front, and we've got our back. All ready to go, pretty turnkey. Again, that paragraph, we'll address that in just a minute. Let's go check out. Now, this is where you're going to upload your list from Fetch, if you're using that. Now, are you guys helping them with Fetch, or are they doing it on their own?
No, Tyler's a lot of help.
Yeah, they are help. They're huge help with that. I actually absolutely recommend you guys lean into your title people, because they do this a lot, and they understand the process. So if you have
Especially
agents...
Tyler.
What's that?
I said especially Tyler.
Well, here's the thing. Like you were saying, you have agents that have listings once or twice a year. Are they going to remember Fetch going into it every 6 months?
Well, let's explain what Fetch is for
So,
people that
do
aren't
you know what
using it.
Fetch is?
No.
No, we don't use it.
Okay, so, and I know you know, right?
You
'Cause-
talk to me a little bit about it.
Yeah.
You want to know about Fetch?
And yeah, so it's a tool that we have that we can set you up with, that basically you can target, like, there's some AI involved, like possible next sellers, right? So if you go take a listing or represent a buyer for a property and you're set up on this, instead of doing a just listed, just sold, you can maybe hit 300 or 400 people around that subject listing, but then refine it to the possible next sellers.
So it's got predictive analysis in it?
There's
Yes.
some in there, yeah, so that's usually gonna give you like a 2 to 3 year price or age range where people that they bought, say from 2014 through 2016, are actually the majority of the houses selling in there.
It just helps you to market to more likely to sell in the future.
And it's pretty, is there a cost?
That's all free, and it does like empty nesters, which are 1 out of 25% of all new listings coming on the MLS. Those people have owned their house for 30 years or longer. So if you want to do a just listed, a door knock, instead of doing 300 or 400 and taking the shotgun approach, now you can take the 300 or 400 and narrow it down to the 20
Yeah.
people that are
Targeted marketing.
that have owned the house.
You don't pay for
and
anything
all of
except
that
for
is
phone numbers
free.
if you want the phone numbers.
That's actually a pretty
Yeah.
good deal. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've looked at some of
And
that predictive,
we'll
it's
talk
about
about
$1,000 a
that
month.
later.
Because we don't do
Yeah.
any of those.
Oh
What's
yeah.
that?
We don't use any like just sold, just listed.
So that's another program then that Kip will set you up with. All of that we're talking about right now is free. I think if you want phone
Okay.
numbers, it's like 8 cents.
So you guys.
But you can order one of their both postcards and then
Okay.
target those empty nesters and send
Absolutely.
them via mail, and then you're not paying for the phone numbers through Fetch because it doesn't include the phone number.
Yeah,
So
you only
Kip will
pay
set you
extra
up.
when you need phone numbers or emails.
Yeah.
Now there's a So what we're talking about here is what we call a demographic mailing list versus a geographic mailing list, and there's a use case for both of them. Demographic is when you want to target a certain type of buyer or seller, or a certain demographic, like the empty nesters. And then the flip side of that, people with growing families that need more room are on the other end of that. But then you've got a use case where you want to just hit the neighborhood around the property.
and you know, you're going to explain that, right? Like you're going to say that we just through this we can say we want the 100 neighbors immediate.
Yeah.
So-
And so use cases for geographic are going to be like you've got an open house and you want all the neighborhood to come, or you have it just listed and you know you want that just listed to go out to the neighborhood. Just listeds you might actually do in several ways. You might do a neighborhood mailing for a just listed, and you also may do a targeted mailing to a certain type of buyer most likely to buy that home.
Yeah.
So
You
you
know,
may do both.
A good idea for that would be if you had that predictive seller.
That's
Then I would take
Yep.
just
Yeah.
popping by door hanger,
That's
go
what we
put it
talked
on their
about last
door,
week.
and then then there's a
Yep.
connection.
Exactly.
So now maybe if you hit, and you run 100 people around your open house that you're coming in, maybe you have 15 people that are gonna be the possible next
Well,
seller.
listings,
Go
there's
drop
multiple
off the
touches, and the
flyer
contract just sold.
at those
So you guys
15
are using
people
that
versus
fast
doing
food.
100.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you have the fetch list, you would just upload it right here. You can have saved lists in your profile as well, so if you're using a same list more than once. And then eventually when we get fetch connected, they'll show up here as well. Now if you wanted to create a radius list, we can do that right here. So this will bring up the 100 closest. It starts at the center and works itself out until it finds enough. Now we can also do a neighborhood search as well. So maybe we want to zoom out, maybe we want to focus over on this block instead of doing a radius. We can do something like that.
If it's
And
like a
then-
specific tract, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then again, what it will do is it takes the center of that block and starts from the center of that and builds out. So maybe you wanted to target that instead. So we can use this list now and we'll push forward. Now I want to talk a little bit about QR codes. We started out earlier talking about them. I want to go a little bit deeper with them. We have two types of QR codes we use within our system. The first is called our trackback QR code, and it's a directional code, meaning you can send the agent in whatever direction you want. Maybe it's your website for the company, maybe it's a property website for the listing itself, maybe it's a virtual tour, you decide that. And then we've got another one which I'll go through in a second, which generates an automated AVM for every recipient on your list. Now, both of our QR codes are completely transparent. You guys get notification every time they're scanned, and if they opt in to get more information, you get an additional email that we call a hot lead email, and ideally you'd follow up on that right away.
So this is comparable to a landing page.
What's that?
Comparable to a landing page then?
Well, yeah. Well, really, you're going to direct them where they're going to go. The end direct landing page is what you decide.
Okay.
And so there's a middleman page in there
Yeah.
that says, "Hey, thanks for scanning my marketing. If you're interested in more information, plug in your email, and I'll contact you." Or
That's
my
that's
team."
as far as you have to go with it.
What's that? They can go past that. It's an opt-in system.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we try to make it pretty user-friendly for the end user. We're not fans of websites that lock people out of information because they're just going to go to Redfin. Or they're just, if you lock, our opinion is if you lock somebody out of looking at stuff on your website, you're telling them that you want them to leave. Because you can go to Redfin and get everything that you can get on your own website. I'd rather they stay with you. So that's my personal opinion. Now, another note about QR codes is that they work whether you've designed within our system or you've supplied a design. We work with both because we don't charge for any of the software. We're file agnostic. So if you have a designer and they're designing stuff for you and you just want to throw PDFs at us, we'll print those all day long. You can upload files just as easily as you can design them within the system. And all of our QR codes work on those uploaded files too. Now, the Home Value Connect system, let's jump forward to that. That's over here. And what it basically does is creates a unique QR code for every recipient on your mailing list. And then when scanned, that QR code brings up that property's automated value. Now, because it's a postcard, we know where it went. So you actually get all of that information back. If there was a name on your mailing list, we'll give you that back. So Jane Smith at 123 Main Street just scanned her postcard and got her AVM. It's the type of email you'll get with that. On the back of these, you can see a sample of that, what that looks like. And I will do a demo here on the big screen. So if they're using a computer, they plug in the code, but if you scan the QR code, it goes direct. So what this will do is it'll go create that AVM. Thinking real hard again. We've got my profile, my agent information up here. We've got our call to action for the homeowner. We've got our estimated home value range, our sales graph, trends, activity, map, and down here we've got all the properties that built that AVM. And then we also recently learned, this is a recent addition from our vendor, there's a fantastic community tab down here. I think we need to push that actually higher. I'm going to ask them if they can make that more prominent. But what this community tab has all the demographics of your neighborhood as well. So it's got things like population, income, population demographics, weather, education, employment, finance, income, crime, you name it.
So that's really good, because isn't that like encompass, like people want listing books, and isn't this a lot of the information too that's published inside the listing books? I know some people still, so now you can get this just at the.
We're actually going to be building, in addition to the other generative AI tools we have, we're going to be working on a custom hyperlocal lifestyle postcard campaign where you can get all of this different information as a postcard, scan the QR code, and then come to this page to get all that additional information.
So who's your data provider for that?
We have a whole bunch of data providers. This particular one is called Atom Data, who does our ATTOM. Oh, you know who Atom is. Wow, very few people do.
They're a big, well, I teach a foreclosure class.
Okay, and they do a lot of
all
foreclosure
that
work.
data in
Yep.
there.
Mhm.
And so, and Black Knight's another one.
Yep.
And
So
Corfac does our MLS, they're huge too.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we use Atom Data for this AVM. We also use those mailing lists, those radius mailing lists come from Atom as well.
Cool.
All right. Coming back here, we can move on. Maybe we want to throw 100 of these in our cart. You got a question?
Craig, you said, so this is for a postcard, so
Yeah.
that QR code would attach to every single person's address you're sending it to
Mhm.
and customize it, okay.
Yeah. And then we actually have a door hanger that works similarly. You can do a drop-by door hanger that's an AVM door hanger. So what it does is when they scan that, they have to actually put in their name, phone number, and address to get their AVM, and then you get all of their data when you do the door hanger
I
version.
like that.
Normally I bring those as a sample, but they didn't throw them into my kit when I came out today. So my apologies for that. We'll add these to our cart. This confirms our header information. We're going to choose address and mail, checkout, and we pay, and we're done. Now, say we wanted to make some advanced edits to that. Let's jump over to Motif. I'll give a quick demo of that. So again, this is not Canva, but we modeled it after Canva because that's kind of the standard in online design today. Wanted people to feel comfortable. Where we have the luxury is that we only work for one industry, where Canva is a program that's for every industry. We're able to tailor this one specifically for real estate industry, so all of our tools are geared toward that. So we've got our template here. We can click on anything. We can drag, drop. We can type directly in it. We've got all of our templates over here, same searchability. We've got your pages front and back, all the different elements, Flourish, different QR code generators, photo frames. We do have all the real estate designations in here as well. That's one nice feature that I think we have in here. Thinking hard again. All right, stock icon library. It's becoming really common to, instead of doing plain bullets, coming in here and doing cute little icons instead. That's become popular. So we can do that as well. Stock photography library built in. Now we're going to get into some of the generative AI. So you see how small this paragraph got. What our system will do is it will shrink a font to fit that whole paragraph in, but it gets really, really tiny at some point. So I'm going to go grab all of this, and we're going to ask our AI to summarize this description in, I'm going to say 75 words or less, if I can type. I'm going to put it in, and we will create. So we summarize that down. All the same basic information is there.
Then you can read it.
What's that?
And now you can read it.
Now you can read it, exactly. So yeah, feel free to fill up that website and just know there's a tool over here that can help summarize that back down. Now the next piece I want to show you is our one-click translation. I'm going to grab all of my text here and we're going to come to our translate tool. I'm just going to show you a few things in here, kind of the highlights, and now we're going to make this whole postcard Spanish. A little bit of reflow because it does actual natural language translation. It does not do word for word. If you translated this through multiple languages and then back to English, it would read completely different. So I'll get back out of that. And then I want to show you a really cool tool we call a drop-in. This is something that Canva doesn't have that we're pretty proud of. So say you work as a team, say you work with another agent fairly often, maybe you want multiple versions of your signature that you want to be able to drop into all the different marketing pieces. Maybe you want this common signature on all your flyers, on all your postcards. You can come in here, let's just go make a fake one, and we'll say, maybe you have a ton of designations. Maybe you're an ePro. Maybe
They all
you
are.
CRS.
Yeah.
What did somebody say earlier today? Somebody said that means can't remember shit. Maybe you are an eco-broker.
That's me. The CRS.
All right. Maybe you want your name really big and bold. Let's go 24, and let's go with a much bolder font. Maybe you want your phone number also bold, and you want that to match the gold. Okay, so we can take all of this information and we can save it as a personal drop-in. And so every time you come back into any document, think of it as a rubber stamp of reusable content. So I'm just going to delete that, go to my personal drop-ins. This is probably one I made during my demo with them before. Come on, you can do it. My internet feels like it's speeding up and slowing down. All right, so we can just bring that in. And so this is great if you've got a team. You can have each individual agent signature. You can have team signature in here depending on how that listing is being marketed. And let me see, one more thing. In addition to generative text, we also have basic generative image. Again, we're going to walk through a full practical application of this generative AI in just a minute. But if you were in some kind of a topical postcard and you wanted to generate your own imagery, you can do that right in here. So we're coming up on 4th of July. Let's do an eagle soaring over, where are we? It's just
The Rocky Mountains.
the Rocky Mountains. Okay. Now we've got different types of what's that?
Curling a hot dog.
You know what? We could.
Oh, I thought you said eating a hot dog.
She said
Hold on,
curling.
hold on.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I like
We're
that.
gonna do it. We're gonna do it. You brought it up. We brought it up. Now, sometimes weird stuff like this will break it, and it won't break it. It'll do it. It's just gonna be really weird, like it's talons or hot
Like
dogs.
the requester.
So we've got different art styles. I'm going to go with cinematic because this feels cinematic. Now again, this is not very useful on a listing piece, but it's very useful on topical marketing, which we're about to transition into. Okay, oh my god, I did it. I'm actually really impressed. There we go, we got a hot dog for
Yeah, yeah, there.
Oh wait, here's one. There we go.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
This close. This close. So our image generator is actually about to be upgraded. AI is moving so fast that even as a vendor, we're having to refresh our AI tools so often. Our image generator, there are some new ones out that we're going to be upgrading this to shortly. But let me do this again. Let's do, we're going to do anime. So now you're going to see we've got photorealistic. Now I'm going to give you anime. I'm actually personally a fan of the cartoonish image styles because they are much more colorful. For me, if you're going to do a mailing, you want it to stand out. Once we get into these, you'll kind of understand what I mean. Here we go. Look at this now. Much more colorful. Now that hot dog's kind of retarded. And in this case, he's going to eat the hot dog.
It's 4th of July.
America. But you kind of get the point that the cartoonish versions are much more graphical and inviting. So okay, we're gonna dump out of here because, like I said, we can spend way too much time in here.
We came to laugh.
Yeah.
I told you I was setting the bar pretty high for this class. All right, so we're going to transition now. We've kind of gone through listing information. Now we're going to go to some of the automation and then finish you up with our topicals. To this point, we've been doing everything manually, but because we have your listing feeds, we can actually do some automation. Our first program is called Active Listing. Now what this program will do is it will listen to that feed and automatically build any of the marketing pieces that Bear produces when that listing goes live. You set up which ones you want to do, you set up your custom attributes, you set up your templates, your brand kit, things like that. And then it will build that every time a listing goes live. You can do a flyer, a perma flyer, social media post, brochure, you name it. Sends you an email with all of those proofs ready to go. You can just click on any one you want to complete, logs you in, opens up that project, and you can finish it from there.
That's actually really cool.
This is a great system. Yeah. Again, you're going to have some materials ready when you go live, but then you set this up, and everything else just happens when the listing goes live for you.
Will it do it if it's in coming soon mode?
No, unfortunately, that is almost none of our MLSs. We work with MLSs nationwide, and very few push through coming soon information. So I'm sorry for
No,
that.
that's okay.
I wish we could. All right, so coming back,
That's a good question.
it is. It's an often asked question, and I wish I had a
It's
yes.
ready by the time.
Yeah, I wish I had a yes for you.
That's okay.
All right, the next program is called Neighbor Connect, and this one I absolutely love. This uses the same technology, but turns it into a multi-part postcard lead generation campaign. This is absolutely low-hanging fruit for you and your agents, especially your ones that are only doing 1 or 2 a year, because they need to maximize their exposure with every listing. What this does is it will listen to that feed and then automatically send out this postcard campaign through the life cycle of your listing. It actually tracks statuses as well as new listings.
You know,
So
the
that-
nice thing about that is the consumer won't remember it's the same house. So they'll see 3 hits and
Yeah.
they'll assume that the agent's doing a lot of business in the
Yeah,
neighborhood.
that's exactly the point. You're selling the house, but you're also branding yourself in that neighborhood. You're telling that neighborhood, I have a listing in your area, I got it on contract, I sold it, and I'm going to do the same for you. Now, there's no barrier of entry for this program. You can turn this on for your agents. They don't have to order printing. They can even just use the social media. They can come in and just use the just listed postcard. Basically, what'll happen is they get a proof in their email of the front and the back of the postcard with whatever template you set up. We have some of our own. We can do custom campaigns if you have your own branding that you want to use within this. But they get the proof of the front and the back, and they've got a send now button. They've got an edit project button, and they've got a sharing button. So they can click that sharing button and use any of this completely complimentary. So
So to just reiterate, the only thing that they're really paying for is the printing if when they decide to use the printing. So all this you can turn into social media, send out electronically, however you want to any of your clients.
That's
Or farm
actually
areas.
that's actually an ongoing mantra we use within our company. We have a whole marketing campaign on it. Don't go pro. We have all of these tools that so many companies. You look at Breakthrough Broker, who just went to a membership-only model. You've got list reports. You've got all of these other national programs that want to charge you and your agents money every month.
So
And our goal is to offer the same stuff without any of that.
So if you did that campaign, that's 3 separate mailings.
Mhm.
Is it the same cost per card on all 3 mailings, or since you're doing 3, is there a break on it, or?
Currently not, but I actually like your question. Let me talk to my team about that. No one's ever actually asked that question. This entire platform is literally generated over the last 25 years with conversations just like this. Every feature, every